Flaunt that money, flaunt that bag, flaunt that wealth, girl. Once you get to a certain age, I feel like you make the choice as an adult to choose what type of adult you're gonna be. Until fart do we part. That's the true test of relationships. Sometimes you have to pick your fights, okay? Some, yes, for sure. Stay on that hill, stand your ground. I'm rooting for you. But on sometimes, some of these issues, you have to just let it go. One that I've learned that lesson recently is the debate between my husband and I on The Summer I Turned Pretty. Season 3 is out. The episodes are releasing each week. To me, it is one of those things because surprisingly, and my husband, or Mr. D Voice, as you guys have dubbed him, he loves this show. He got me into the show. He's saying, we have to watch it, babe. The next episode is releasing. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday that comes out. He's like, we have to watch it. I dread it. I dread the show. I hate watch it. I really do. Team Jeremiah, Team Conrad. I mean, if you're still on Team Jeremiah and it's season 3, what have you been watching? What have you been watching? And that's a fight. You know, I give up our evenings, our TV watching evenings, because that's the show we're watching, okay? That's the fight I've given up on. But some fights aren't so easy and they're not so silly and lighthearted. And that's what we're exploring in this episode. We're going to be looking at a bunch of true Reddit stories and let's dive into some of these relationships. So first story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for calling out my cousin when she tried to blame her body odor on me? I'm 18-year-old female from Ontario, Canada, and my cousin, 19-year-old female, is from Florida, USA. I'm staying with her family in Florida. We were out at midday at an outdoor restaurant, and my cousin's boyfriend, 20-year-old male, was to meet us. My cousin had a sweaty body odor, but she had an active day. The boyfriend kissed my cousin, and she introduced us. At the table, he made a face. When I was looking away, my cousin tried to whisper to her boyfriend, but I heard her, quote, "The smell is from my name. Please don't say anything." I said, "The smell is not from me." The boyfriend got his nose close to my cousin's upper body and smelled her. He kissed her on top of her head and told her it's humanizing when such a beautiful woman gets smelly. She laughed awkwardly. On the ride back home, she told me that I unnecessarily embarrassed her. She said, I broke the girl code. Am I the a-hole? Okay, we're starting off a little diving straight into the conflict. You know what's funny to me? We have a friend, a mutual friend, and I think it came up in a conversation where he said growing up, he thought that girls didn't fart. This was an honest statement made by one of our guy friends. And I remember just completely cracking up at this idea. What do you mean girls don't fart? Who doesn't fart? Who doesn't pee and poo? Like, it's the most human thing ever. But the fact that there are like some of these myths about, I guess women and girls in general, some mythical idea that I guess we're all these dainty creatures and we can't have moments where we smell or have, I guess, slightly unflattering or normal, just basic body function moments. Okay. First off, kudos to the boyfriend because you know what? He wasn't weird about it. He just kind of was straightforward, accepted it, and just made a note, again, complimenting on his girlfriend, your cousin, OP, on how, okay, yeah, it's humanizing, it's cool, love you, kissed her on top of the head. Like, I think he took it pretty well, unless they're like newly dating and this is like an awkward thing that hasn't come up yet for whatever reason. But on the other hand, why did your cousin immediately throw you under the bus and then try to pretend that you weren't there? I mean, I'm assuming the seating arrangement is like maybe, small circular table. You guys are at a restaurant. She's probably sitting in between you guys, right? The boyfriend and you, OP. So why would you think this is a good idea? Oh, let me just whisper and throw poor OP under the bus by saying, it's not me that stinks. It's her, but don't say anything. I mean, you know what? That's some schemy behavior. I'll give her some props to that because if OP didn't catch it, boyfriend would still think, oh, my girlfriend, she smells like a flower no matter what. She'll always smell like beautiful meadow of blooms, even when she's having a really active, sweaty day. I guess. I mean, what is the illusion to that? It's going to come up eventually, guy. Right? Like, I don't know what OP's cousin was thinking. I don't think you're an a-hole. It's one of those things where pick that fight, stand your ground, and okay, I think you're in the right. Obviously, you're gonna say something. I mean, why would you just take the fall for that? This question did come up before. I did pose it to Eb. So if I released a fart and it was particularly deadly fart, and we were in a room with other people, would you take the fall for it? Knowing it was me. That's too long of hesitation. That's too long of hesitation.
I'm thinking about the situation. It's just...
Are you weighing on a scale like, how bad of a fart versus do I have to take the blame?
I mean, at that point, why do I need to take the blame?
What do you mean? You think everyone's just going to know it's me?
Well, maybe no one's going to know who that was.
Okay, it's going to come up. If it's a deadly bomb, like we're talking like a, maybe loud and deadly. Maybe it's loud and deadly type of fart.
You got to own up to it at that point. Or you could just say, excuse me, or something like that. Then.
Well, yes, of course. But like, what if it's in front of a group of your friends that I've never met before? It's people you know more than I do. Does that change the context? This is their first impression of me, by the way.
Yeah, I guess that's not the best first impression, I guess.
Just drop that bomb. It's like, hi, nice to meet you. Silent but deadly gas enters the room.
Yeah, but at that point, who would know that it was you?
You're telling me none of our friends would automatically say something about the smell. I don't think our friends...
Well, they might say, but how do you know who that was? At that point, who fired?
That's even worse. I feel like everyone subconsciously started looking at each other like, it was you, wasn't it? Or was it you? And everyone starts pointing fingers at each other. At some point, it's going to be very obvious, I think, where the source originated from, if it's bad enough. Wait, so I'm getting that you won't take the fall?
See, I don't know.
See,
we have to be in that
exist.
situation to see what happens.
See, true love is not tested by, what is it? Until death do we part. It's until fart do we part. That's the true test of relationships. Although on the reverse, I guess you're right. I mean, I would find it hard to like take the fall if it was the other way around.
Because I don't think it would even come out genuine. No,
or the smell.
It wouldn't come out genuine that it was me. And then I think you would...
I mean, not if that's your attitude.
It would be even worse for you if people figured out it was you.
Honey, if you ever end up taking the fall for me, if you ever do, can you at least try and make convincing? Don't be like, oh, it was me. That'll be too obvious.
Well, going back to the story,
what do you think?
Yeah, I just don't understand what the plan was. It's a very...
She's trying to look good for her man.
It's a very short excuse, plan? I guess. I mean, they're gonna probably spend more time together, and the boyfriend's gonna figure out where the smell is coming from.
It's gonna pop up eventually, girl.
And plus, it also, in my opinion, that would just make someone look bad because you blamed your friend explicitly about it.
It's even worse because she got caught. Now it's so awkward. Imagine the food hasn't even been served yet because they're meeting each other at what? Like at an outdoor restaurant too. Like she couldn't have blamed it on, maybe it's like the trash cans by the restaurant. She couldn't blame it on anything else or anybody else, like a complete stranger. No, she had to blame it on the person they're sitting next to at the table. Well, I guess she did because the smell's not going away.
Yeah, but also, I guess on the girl code, I don't know if I can really comment on that. I'm not sure.
Why?
Exactly what that is.
You haven't read the handbook of the girl code?
No.
Look, I feel like girl code is like, thou shalt not date your besties or your girlfriend's like partner. I think that's like an obvious one, or like just be an a-hole to your friend in general. But how is this any way near girl code?
I would guess.
Where does it say that you have to defend it by taking on your friend's farts?
Yeah, I would guess you just cover for your friend, I guess, in some sense.
Not farts. That's too much. That's too much. Just let it rip, let it go, own up to it, and just move on. That's it.
Yeah, but this wasn't a fart.
Okay, well, it's not a fart. I don't know. I've been saying fart, guys.
BO.
I mean like BO. I've been similar scenario. But I guess it's worse because farts at least will go away. I guess body odor. I don't know, like just say, oh, my bad, make a note of it and like let it go. I mean, there's that, I think it's what? Sense of smell is a person's weakest sense anyway. So if you just say it, admit it, like just make a statement like, oh, I'm super sweaty today, so sorry if I stink, and just let it go. Like, I'll be fine, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. It might. I don't know how do you measure your senses, but I would say,
Less sensitive. I guess the
well,
nose is
sense
less
of smell
sensitive,
is still
maybe?
pretty good. You can.
Okay, honey, you're not defending. You're not. Are you actively defending the cousin's like actions here?
Yeah, since the source is there, it's not gonna magically go away. So
I can't believe you called it the source.
yeah,
The source of odor.
right.
I mean, I agree with you. Short-term thinking, long-term ramifications, because not only are you stinky, but now you're a stinky liar.
Yeah, it's not even short term. That's a very bad excuse because they're sitting next to each other. So
That's why she says the cousins. Like, babe, it's not me. Even if you smell it from me, it's not me. It's from my cousin here. That is so messed up. I'm glad that OP you spoke up because you know what? Own up to what you do, but don't own up to someone's mess. That was gonna be a permanent stain on your reputation. Okay, imagine this boyfriend is, your cousin sees this boyfriend for longer term, right? Mentally, you're always gonna be known in his memory as, or when you guys are having a conversation, he's always gonna be thinking, this is the cousin that stinks.
yeah, but that's not even that. At least if it was me, if I smell something bad, I guess,
Yeah.
especially BO, not that I can, I guess, exactly remember who that came from, but you can kind of associate it because people tend to have
That's
their
what I'm
unique
saying.
BO, right? So once you smell it once, and you're eventually gonna probably smell that again, and then in case she managed to kind of go unnoticed that whole day without the boyfriend smelling the BO again, the boyfriend would smell it again and probably would associate, wait a minute, that's clearly not the cousin, or I guess that's the cousin, right? Not the friend,
Yeah.
cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, the cousin.
So the lie is gonna get uncovered
It
eventually.
was gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. I just can't believe that the cousin then turned out, like, remembered this moment, didn't laugh at all. Well, she kind of tried to awkwardly laugh it off. It's kind of weird. But afterwards, then goes to OP to say, how could you do that to me? You broke girl code. No, girl, you broke girl code by labeling me as stinky when I was not stinky. Give credit where
Yeah,
credit's
but
due.
I guess the well the OP's argue. Well, is it OP or no? That's
What do you
not
mean?
OP. That's the cousin, right?
The cousin's the one that framed OP.
Right. So the cousin's, I guess, thinking is that, well, might just take the fall for it because you have nothing to lose because it's her boyfriend, right? So it doesn't really.
I mean, if she's kind of trying to play, she could be not defending the cousin. She could be playing the game of, look, my cousin or OP is from Canada.
Right.
She's only here to visit.
Just take the fall, right?
She can take the fall and then she can just go back to Canada. Boyfriend would be none the wiser.
Hmm.
But then again, goes back to your question. Okay, what about the next time she's sweaty?
Right.
Unless her plan is, and I know some girls do this, for a long time in the beginning of dates, some girls will literally, the joke is, they will literally, pretty themselves up, go on the date with their mans, and then if they hang out, spend the night, whatever, they will set an alarm or wake up super early, run to the bathroom, freshen up, and then lay back in bed next to their partners and boyfriends. So that when he wakes up, he's like, creates the impression of the illusion, I guess, of, oh my gosh, you look exactly the same when you wake up. You wake up like an angel. You're so beautiful when you wake up.
Yeah, that's just deceptive. Eventually, it's gonna come out.
Okay, can I tell you something? I
Sure.
thought of doing that when we were dating. But to be honest, I was too lazy. It was just too much work. And wakes up earlier than I do. I used to wake up earlier than him, but now he wakes up earlier than I do. And it's just honestly too much work.
Seems like it's
Too much work.
some kind of like relationship fraud where you're misleading your partner.
I think the sentiment's nice. It's just you want to look nice for them and you want them to, have the best impression of you. Is it a little deceptive? Maybe a tad. But I think it's fairly harmless most of the time. Look, maybe everyone has their own different preferences, but I think lying is just no matter what stage or the relation, it's never a good foot to start with. Wait, good foot, good standing to start with. No, good foot to stand on. I feel like somehow that phrase doesn't it still sounds a little bit wonky, but you guys get my point. So the hammer is down for not wait, no, the hammer is up. The hammer remains up. We are not slapping it down. Oh, but you are not the a-hole. And I stand by that. But let's see what some of the comments say. First comment, not the a-hole. She broke the girl code by bringing it up when no one else did, and she made it even worse by pinning it on you. She embarrassed herself. Another comment, not the a-hole. She embarrassed herself by lying. The boyfriend seems like a cool guy, right? I feel like I have a pretty good impression of the boyfriend so far from what little we've heard of him. It's nice that he didn't immediately react so immaturely. Oh, you're a little stinky, or you smell, or crack jokes. Like he just took on the head and moved on. I think he even was a little bit playful about it. Nice about it. I like that. Alrighty, time for our next story. Next story is from the subreddit, Am I the a-hole?
The butt is in the frame right now.
All right, excuse Mango's butt if you guys happen to see her. She likes to do that a lot. Am I the a-hole for letting my daughter flaunt her expensive items? I, 50-year-old female, and my husband, 48-year-old male, have a daughter, Danica, 21-year-old female, who has been extremely independent her whole life. Danica began working when she was 15, and now she works part-time for a large corporation while pursuing her studies. You go, girl. We are extremely proud of her and how hard she's worked. We generally allow her to manage her own finances, and she insists on contributing monthly to family expenses with the money she earns. Danica occasionally likes to make pricier purchases, which I do not have any concern over, as I think they're sensible financial choices. Like last year, she decided to purchase the newest MacBook, as her old laptop was on its last leg, and she wanted something reliable and long-lasting, or when she bought a Marc Jacobs bag for work in university. We recently went on a family trip with my brother and his family, who have 2 kids of their own, Tammy, 20-year-old female, and Nick, 23-year-old male. His kids and Danica aren't exactly close, but they get along fine for the most part. I know that Tammy and Nick do not have any source of income besides my brother and have not worked a day in their life. During the trip, Danica would occasionally pay for the 3 of them for small things like drinks or food. When we were shopping, Danica bought a few things for herself and picked up gifts she wanted to bring back to her friends. During dinner that night, my sister-in-law, brother's wife, told my husband and me that we were spoiling Danica too much with her purchases. We explained that Danica earned her own money and every cent came from her job. Sister-in-law then proceeded to point and tell Danica that if that was the case, she shouldn't be flaunting her purchases and items in front of her cousins who don't have a cushy little office job, and parents who spoiled her into the person she is. Danica apologized politely, saying that she didn't mean to flaunt her things, but I could tell that she was upset and embarrassed. My husband stood up and shot back, saying that Danica shouldn't have to apologize for her own hard work. I also point out that Danica has been financially independent since she was 15, and that we've always done our best not to spoil her. Sister-in-law then proceeded to tell us that we weren't teaching her how to manage her finances correctly, and that all this money had turned her into a little brat. Danica excused herself to the bathroom and texted that she had gone back to the hotel. We had a tense back and forth for the rest of the dinner, and we came back to find Danica crying in her hotel room. I called my brother, hoping that he's able to talk to his wife, but he explained that for the past few days, Tammy had been crying to her parents about not having what Danica had. She had been whining to her mom that she wanted the newest MacBook as well, but she refused to get it for her. Myself, Danica, and my husband have been getting calls from the rest of the family, some calling us a-holes, and some who were willing to hear us out and understood where we were coming from. So, am I the a-hole? Where does one begin? Let me find my inner peace to relax a little bit first, because you know what? Flaunt that money, flaunt that bag, flaunt that wealth, girl, as you have. Only in the context that Danica has. Okay, let me break this down. So, OP and husband have been pretty great with how they handled their daughter's finances or the financial education, in my opinion, because you're telling me Danica has, of her own volition, currently is working a job part-time while pursuing her studies. She buys her things. She contributes to the family finances and the monthly bills. What's the problem? And she's been found guilty by her aunt of buying some souvenirs for her friends back home while on a trip, getting a Marc Jacobs bag or maybe having a handbag or two, and maybe doing a little shopping during vacation. So far, I'm not hearing anything that points to spoiled girl flaunting mommy's money or daddy's money. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing someone who is a young woman who seems financially savvy, somewhat independent, trying to figure out her own finances and maybe treating herself once in a while where it makes sense. I don't see someone who's irresponsible, so very confusing to me. Also, how is this OP's fault again? Wait, what's the problem with OP now? Because brother and sister-in-law's 20-year-old daughter, by the way, so their kids who are in their 20s, same age as Danica, is coming home crying to mommy that she can't have the latest MacBook. Oh boy. If we want to talk about the pot calling the kettle black, this is it. Because what do you mean? She's pointing fingers at OP's parenting when she has her grown daughter ranting and whining about how, quote unquote, cousin has a MacBook. So why don't I have a MacBook? Well, cousin has a job. Why don't you have a job? I don't know. The same argument should be made here, no? Like, is it a little bit hypocritical? Massively. I mean, this goes without saying. Obviously, OP, you're not the a-hole. And the fact that other family members are now roped in to whisper and maybe talk about your family behind your back and kind of chime in with the situation when they're not involved at all to say, you guys aren't doing something right. It tells me maybe auntie's kind of poisoning the well, kind of sprinkling her version of what's going on to everyone. That's why you're getting all this comment. That's where I'm standing with this.
I sense some jealousy.
Yeah. Jealousy. Oh my gosh.
And perhaps lack of parenting skills. But at that point, aren't they 28?
So they have daughters 21. Daughter's 20 years old and son is 23 years old. But they're whining to mommy and daddy.
Yeah, but Danica, right?
Yeah, is 21.
Oh, I thought she was 28.
Oh, no, she's 21.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So she's literally around the same age.
But that's still, I mean, you're kind of an adult at that point, I would say. Especially if you have a job, then sure, you can buy all those things. And I don't think they should assume that she was bought those things and spoiled. And even so,
where's the flaunting? I don't understand.
Right, you shouldn't go and call someone a brat and being spoiled just seemingly because you don't know how to tell your own kids no, or that your own kids feel entitled that they need to have those things as well.
So you're saying basically that she could have just said, hey, look, you can get a job to your kids. Or maybe she didn't even have to say it. She could just say the simple as, look, mom and dad are too broke to be buying you all the stuff, buying you all the stuff just because you want it. This is not the situation that we have going on. In my opinion, it's not even a Danica problem. It's not an OP problem. It is when you're the problem situation. Auntie and uncle are clearly the problem here. And their kids are wrong because, even I'm going to call out the cousin, the daughter. What is it? Tammy, 20 years old. You are freaking 20 years old. If you want something so badly, maybe you're old enough you can get, actually, you don't need a working permit at that age. Like you literally can get a part-time job. If you wanted something, why not work for it?
See, I don't know where this is because you said mom.
Oh, that's true. I don't know what the legal situation for working is, but generally, I'm assuming at 20 years old, you can probably at least get a part-time job.
Well, 20 for sure. I hope.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit confused. And kudos to Danica. Kudos to you, OP, because your relationship with your husband and your kid just sounds very healthy. And we don't see a lot of that on the channel, especially because I love that husband immediately shot back and said, excuse me, our daughter's not spoiled. Like, what's wrong with you? This is not our daughter problem. So you and your husband are immediately leaping to your daughter's defense. And I applaud you for that because not all parents will do that. But also, I'm very confused because why doesn't Auntie just admit that she's jealous? She could have just been the bigger person to say, look, I'm sorry. I was wrong for saying what I said. I thought about it and I woke up from my delusions.
No, this is, the people that are gonna go and outwardly say that they're basically jealous and accuse other people of being spoiled, those type of people don't have self-awareness to understand
That's
that
so
the
wild.
problem is on their part. So
Like I
yeah.
feel secondhand embarrassment for the aunt. Like if I was caught in the situation, I would just shut my mouth, reflect a little bit, and say, I really was out of turn. Let me mend the situation. But no, she doubled down actually.
Of course.
That's crazy
That's not
because
crazy.
no,
That's
because she went from her standing point, her leg to stand on went from, look, your daughter, you need to do something about her. She's so spoiled. And wait, what? Why she's spoiled? She's flaunting, she's spoiled brat, she's flaunting her wealth too much, which is crazy because now I'm wondering like what the financial situation here is because you think the wealth is crazy because the daughter bought some souvenirs, did a little bit of shopping. I don't know. It feels a tad like crazy to go from that to then go, you're not parenting your kid right. That's why she's spoiled. Maybe if you're listening to this auntie, uncle, maybe the problem exists internally. Maybe you are the problem. And maybe you just have to talk to your son and daughter and say, look, if you want to start spending like Danica, then maybe you should start working like Danica and we can have a conversation. Okay? Maybe that start there. I don't know. I feel an ick for the whole family because I hate to say, look, just because you don't choose the family you're born into, right? But it's also once you get to a certain age, I feel like you make the choice as an adult to choose what type of adult you're going to be and whether that's going to separate you from the poor choices potentially made by your family or set a precedence for something different and be the better version. And I just feel like this whole family the uncle's family just gives this vibe and aura of toxicity. How long has this jealousy been going on? There's no way this is the first time.
right. Well, playing devil's advocate is we also don't know how I guess Danica was acting around the cousins.
Okay.
So you could maybe uncle and auntie saw something else and all the
Okay.
cousins.
I mean, what if, right? Playing along with the scenario, what if Danica was going, put it on the card? Like whenever they go out to eat or something with the son and daughter, Danica's going, put it on the card, slapping her card around and being very fancy with it, or being like, wrap all that up for me. I'll take that, that, and that. Oh, I can afford it.
Look at my new MacBook.
Or look at my new fancy MacBook, guys. Or look at my handbag. I mean, even then, Auntie's still in the wrong. Auntie and uncle are still, and the kids are still in the wrong because if someone chooses to flaunt their wealth, I mean, good for them. That's on them.
Well, I mean, I agree with that
But it
to
doesn't
some
mean you
sense.
deserve it too.
Yes,
You
but
know?
I mean, to
It
some
would make
sense, you can
Danica a
be
little
an
bit
a-hole,
a-hole.
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to rub it in. Oh, look, I got my new MacBook, but you can't afford it, or something, right?
Imagine that's how she's going around saying it's like, look, this is what you can't have. That would be savage. That would be a little bit brutal. I mean, that would just make Danica an a-hole.
Well, yeah, and also
Okay,
potentially spoiled, or
but then I feel like at that point, cousins need to pick their own fight. Like it feels weird to pull in the older parents in. Then Tammy and Nick, like the son and daughter, should just say, look, cuz, I love you, but you don't need to slap us in the face with your wealth, okay? We get it. Good for you. Now, tone it down. Shut up about it. It doesn't become this whole like whisper down the lane, down the family tree of, oh my God, did you hear what Danica did on their family trip? Did you hear what so and so was buying? Crazy. Like, why is this now the family gossip? So I don't know. For what we know of the current context,
right?
Team OP and family. It's nice to get up. Well, okay, this story isn't that wholesome, but I feel like the family that we met through the story felt wholesome. Now, let's see what some of the comments say. First comment. So, two grown adults complain to their parents about what a third grown adult has bought with their own money. Do they not realize how pathetic that sounds? Your daughter has done nothing wrong. Hard agree. Very obvious whose kids were, quote unquote, the spoiled brats here. Another comment. Tammy can go get herself a damn job if she wants what Danica has, and their whole family can apologize to Danica while they're at it. In fact, I'd let your brother know you won't be speaking to them again until that happens. Protect your daughter. Oh, yes. We didn't talk about the consequences. I agree. I think the whole family, when I say whole family, I mean OP, you, husband, daughter, shouldn't let this go. Because I feel like this is the situation where if you let this go, auntie and family will literally walk all over you and your daughter. And what lies they made up about you and your family are going to become, quote unquote, seen as the truth by the rest of the family tree at this point. Stand your ground. Say, look, we're not going to hang out until you guys have apologized. Everybody, auntie, uncle, and the 2 kids. I mean, unless the son was involved, then he can be excluded. But, and daughter need to just mend the situation of their own volition towards Danica and say, look, we blew the whole situation out of proportion. We were definitely in the wrong. It was a little bit of petty jealousy going on. Our bad. Why are you laughing?
I guess they're not hanging out again.
I don't think they're going to do it.
No.
Auntie's going to be so petty. She's just going to be like, you just know at the next family reunion, she's going to bring this up again. It's going to be months past. She's going to say, remember how we used to vacation together and then we stopped because Danica was a brat? I remember that. That's exactly her version. That's the version she's going to keep, and she's going to stand her ground with that. I just know it. But yeah, I think this is a fight you need to pick, and you need to stand your ground on OP. Stick with it. Our last story, also involving a daughter and family relationship, is from the subreddit AITA. Am I the hoe for taking my daughter out for a nice dinner and leaving everyone else to fend for themselves? Okay.
I think context matters here.
Context matters a little bit here, I would say. OP says, my daughter, 16-year-old female, and I, 43-year-old female, love eating at authentic Asian restaurants. We had to pick my son, 12 years old, up at a Korean barbecue about 40 minutes from our house. It was a party with another family. I suggested to my husband, 44-year-old male of 25 years, that he and the 2 other kids can have whatever they wanted for dinner, and my daughter and I would get Korean barbecue at this restaurant. He said, no, we should all go as a family. I reminded him that he and the other kids aren't big fans of Korean barbecue, and it would be cheaper to eat separately. He insisted on everyone going. When we get to a restaurant and he sees the menu, he complains that he doesn't know what to order and complains about the price. The other kids followed suit. I suggested they go eat in another restaurant in the plaza, and my daughter and I will get the Korean food. It smelled so amazing, by the way. We waited 20 minutes for a table, and he continued to make comments about the price. Even told me, quote, you better not order anything fancy. That was the last straw. I got up and went to the van. Everyone followed. I said I was taking everyone home and my daughter and I would go on our own to a local Korean barbecue. We did exactly that. Everyone else had McDonald's and played Roblox. I get home and he's fuming, saying that I owe everyone an apology. I refused. I said I had zero remorse. It seemed like everyone was happy but him and went to bed. I slept perfectly fine. He's still mad. So am I the hoe for taking my daughter out for dinner and leaving everyone else to do their own thing? OP, may I suggest our first slow clap of the episode? Good for you. Good for you. What a mom. What a woman. Oh my gosh. First off, who doesn't like Korean barbecue? It is delicious. It's just like food. And usually Korean barbecue, it's like all the meats are there. It's grilled in front of you. The smoky smell, the sauces that marinate on it. You dip it in a little sauce, you eat it. It's tender, it's juicy, it's succulent, it's amazing. Just chef's kiss. Amazing experience. 10 out of 10 we recommend to everybody. I mean, if you like even American barbecue, it's kind of a similar concept. It's just different cuts of meat, of usually beef or pork or whatever you like, or chicken even. But if you don't like Korean barbecue, do you even like American barbecue or any grilled meats? Because they're kind of the same thing.
Well, I guess it could be intimidating to some people because
to grill your own meat.
Well,
not
that's
the only difference, I guess.
Grill your own meat, but a lot of times the cuts of meats, the beef, pork, it's usually unusual to at least, I guess.
No, it's not.
I mean, there are some cuts that are
okay. Some cuts are a little different. Yeah,
right.
I would agree.
A lot of items, I guess, on the menu are probably not familiar to someone who does not enjoy Korean food. I would say
it might look a little different.
Right.
I'll give you that. But it's delicious.
It is.
It's usually okay. We've gone with family members who aren't, who aren't aware of different Asian cuisines, and they've come to enjoy it. Even friends that haven't had it before, they've all come to love it. No, of the multiple people that we've introduced to Korean barbecue and hot pot, because usually they're in the same restaurant, there's been literally 0 people who have said, no, this was so bad. This is a bad recommendation. Everyone's loved it. So, one, questioning your husband's taste in food already, judging slightly OP there. But another, kudos to you, because I think you are the only adult in this situation. You literally propose that maybe you and your daughter enjoy something that you guys both want to eat and offer on an alternative, not once, but twice, that, hey, husband and the other kids can eat something else they enjoy instead. No one's missing out here. It doesn't feel like a lose-lose scenario to me. But husband was the one that was super stubborn about, no, we all have to go. Wait, why do we all have to go? And then he sits down and just complains about it the whole entire time. That is so embarrassing. I would be embarrassed to sit next to your husband at a restaurant while he's doing all of that. Like, just ick. Gives me the massive ick. Oh,
Right. I mean, I guess once again playing devil's advocate, and not necessarily that I agree with this, but
Are you
let's
sure
say
you don't agree with this?
let's say I don't know what their financial situation is, but if I'm assuming, I guess, what if the Korean barbecue is like way more expensive? And I guess husbands maybe reasoning is that, well, I want the whole family to eat together, have one meal.
Wait, but then would be
Right.
contradicting himself because I'm
Right.
like, wait,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
cost thing, but then
Right.
he's like, no, everyone has to eat this
Right.
expensive thing together.
Right. So at that point, they would probably need to go somewhere else. But I think once you made the decision that, okay, everyone is going to the same place, then you're kind of, you made your own bed, right? You got to sleep in it. You can't be
Yes.
complaining about it at that point.
And it's not even like the kids were the issue here. I feel like, okay, husband was a man child. He was being the biggest child between the whole family, to be honest, even your kids in comparison. Because the minute he complained, then he starts setting off the attitude that the other 2 kids were then complaining as well, mimicking what he was saying. Now I wonder if the other kids truly don't like Korean barbecue because of what their dad says and they're copying that behavior, or if they just like don't like it. Like,
or they're
I don't know.
just indifferent about it, I guess.
Yeah. It could be a lot of things. And if they're happy eating McDonald's and playing Roblox, then what's the problem here? I feel like husband is so petty. He's being petty. Because what do you mean? Everyone ended up being happy and he's the only one who's unhappy. And then he makes this whole stink up. I think OP, wife here, I think wife needs to apologize to everyone in the family. I mean, shut up. Your kids are all 16 and under, okay? So when you say, I think you need to apologize to the family, you're really saying, you need to apologize to me. That's what it was. He wants an apology. I don't think his kids
Yeah,
care.
so I wonder what's his upsetness, what it is about, I guess, that he's upset about it. Is it that they didn't eat together, or is it that that OP and I guess the daughter like left them? Like,
See, I feel
what
like
is he upset about?
he might be one of those people. Okay. This is going to sound so weird, guys, but we all know at least one person or have met or come across someone like this where they won't necessarily enjoy something, but they get pissed if you enjoy the activity or food or whatever it is without them. Like, how dare you have fun without me?
Yeah, so he feels left out, I guess.
Yeah. But he doesn't even enjoy it. So I'm confused on what the issue is here. This is make up your mind, man. Like, if you're going to eat there and shut up and eat. If you're not going to eat there, then just enjoy elsewhere and, just be chill. It's just very weird to me. I feel like OP did all she could to have a compromise. Like, look, we can all enjoy what we want to enjoy without stepping on each other's toes. But it feels like husband has this one vision of, we all eat McDonald's and play Roblox at home, I guess. And that's it. There can be no other way other than my way.
I mean, I guess, or they could have compromised and went to eat something else that everyone agrees upon, I guess. Very unpopular opinion, right? But I mean, that was also an option. I just want to put it out there. Like that could have been, I guess, the solution. Although,
I mean, but then you can't compromise there because the principle is daughter and OP love Asian food.
yeah.
And he's just like, big no.
See, you're a very unreliable narrator, I guess, in this, or have a very skewed opinion, I guess, about this.
Oh yeah, I love because I love Korean barbecue. I'll just say I love Korean barbecue. So that was already like he was already in my burn book. I was like, nope,
Yeah.
no, blacklisted.
The OP can do no wrong, right?
No, I mean, to be fair, that he was given many outs, but he was just stubborn. I don't see him proposing any other idea. He wasn't coming out and saying, "Oh, how about this? I'll look at the menu beforehand. I'll pick this and this." I mean, you can look up a menu. I'm sure of all the Asian food there's such a big variety of it. You're telling me there's everything from dumplings to different like noodles to roast porks to there's so much diversity that you're telling me husband really tried to offer an alternative. Did he even look? Tells me he didn't even look because he sat at a Korean barbecue restaurant and said, "Don't order anything fancy." I'm sorry, but what does that mean? Usually at Korean barbecues, right? There are some maybe like entrees alone, standalones that you can order, but most of the time it's kind of an either a la carte style or all you can eat style where you know the prices
Well, yeah.
of all the
But you can
foods,
order
like,
something very fancy too. Some of them like
Kobe beef or
like
something,
Wagyu,
maybe.
like A5 or
Maybe.
something. Wagyu or what? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Maybe, but then it's just a simple matter of, okay, let's order everything. Like, can we not order that one thing? You don't have to be nasty or rude about it. Like,
Right.
all right, don't get anything fancy. Don't be First off, no. Sir, have you even tried? It tells me he's never even tried actual Korean barbecue because he goes in with that statement. I'm like, usually Korean barbecue is seen as a pretty affordable and reasonably delicious like meal combo, right? Like it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna break the bank to eat here,
See,
but
I don't know if
reasonable
you can.
enough.
I don't know if you can beat the Mickey D's price.
Okay, fine. You can't beat the McDonald's price for sure. Well, depends on what you get. Depends on what you get. Because if you go for a lunch option at some of these restaurants, it's like 20 something a meal. Versus some people will spend 20 something at McDonald's alone.
That's tough to do. I don't know how people do that. For one
So-
person, $20 something.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Some
eating?
people do that. You know, you might get a 20-piece nugget, a McDouble,
Okay, that is not
large
like,
fry.
I guess
I'm
my
not
guess
reading
is
my own
around
order or
$10,
anything.
right?
Huh?
That's around $20.
Yeah. Unless you use the deals, which this is not a promo. I'm not being sponsored. But if you guys are, if you guys dabble in eating McDonald's, I know it's unhealthy. Don't tell me about that. I know. But if you dabble on occasion, download the McDonald's app. There's usually like rewards and points and stuff you can redeem for free food. Don't shake your head. I sound like an addict to McDonald's right now.
It is
Not sponsored, but I would accept a sponsorship. Is all I'm saying. The fries are really good. And their nuggets. Their McChicken, McDouble are okay too.
Mm-mm-mm.
Don't you say you like their Big Mac, so.
I haven't eaten one in probably a year.
No, why are you lying? He isn't lying. You definitely ate one this year.
Maybe once.
Look at your order history. We gotta look at our
Maybe.
order history. Lies here.
See, if not for you, I would not ever go there. That's my excuse.
What? Oh, do I force you to order? No, I say, babe, you have points to redeem. Might as well redeem something. Wait, that does sound like it's a little my fault.
Mhm.
No, you don't.
Why do we
to.
have the points?
See, exactly. Because you also like it sometimes.
All right, back to the story.
Anyways, back to OP's question, which is for taking the daughter out and leaving everyone else to do their own thing. Absolutely not. Look, the world didn't end when you did that. So for what it's worth, husband can stay angry. He can pout. He can stay pouting. His man-child behavior. Hopefully he wakes up, OP. I am getting the biggest ick from your husband though, because why is such a reasonable woman like you with such good, impeccable taste in food with this man? Ugh. I'm not calling for divorce over food, okay? Before you guys come for me and say, oh my God, there she goes slapping the hammer down again on something wrong. No. I'm just saying I'm getting the ick, okay? I'm getting the ick. I stand by you, OP. First comment. Not that you told him what your plan was, and you both knew he and the other kids didn't like Korean barbecue. There's nothing wrong with doing things separately occasionally. Exactly. See, Em and I are guilty of being joined by the hip. Like we go to events together, a lot of times we'll pick the same food. But there has been times where we've eaten different foods for dinner. We're not resentful of each other unless it's the last chip of our favorite like bag of chips. Then yeah, like why didn't you give me a nod? Why didn't you share that? Like what's wrong with you? But otherwise, it's okay to do separate things separately sometimes. Yeah. Now, what do you think, like, husband should have done? Like, what would you have done in this situation? Well, imagine you didn't like Korean barbecue.
I mean, yeah, multiple options there. Can go eat separately or try to come up with an actual alternative that everyone would be happy with.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. Em and I are pretty experienced with doing a compromise for food because food is a big deal in the household, as you probably have guessed. But sometimes we'll hang out with our friends, and literally I have a group chat with my friend Sandra, and we literally have a chat, and our text message reads like this every single time before our hangout. What are you craving? I'm craving, and then list 5 different cravings, and she'll list her own like 5 similar or same cravings. And then we look at the ones that we have in common, and we're like comparing. It's like, ooh, do I want McDonald's for the nuggets, or do I want Popeyes for the fried chicken because I'm craving something like, fried chicken and not mac and cheese or mashed potatoes. Like, where, or do we want something else? Or maybe we go to a buffet. So we'll pick a compromise and go from there. And then we'll whittle it down, then her husband see our option to kind of help us narrow down more. So, everyone has a say in what we eat, but there's always a compromise. There's never been a time where it's been, oh my God, I'm so offended that no one wants to eat this one thing. It's just not that deep. It's important, but it's also not that deep.
And it's also okay if people eat different things.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to get this.
Like no one's forcing you. Like, oh my God, we all have to order from the same place or eat the same thing. So another comment, of course not. Your daughter's happy. All the kids are good. There's just one whiny person. Honestly, your husband sounds like a douchebag. Same. He's a man child. Who said that? It was me. Who said that? Anyways, Sophie, not always, but in this case, definitely on your side. And continue to wage your Asian cuisine battles because it is worth it. And I'm glad you're doing what you need to do in order to ensure that your daughter grows up having a taste of the good parts of life, delicious food that she wants to eat. So with that, I leave you guys with this episode. And if you have similar opinions, different advice for OP, or are opposing any of my takes, let me know in the comments. And if you're tuning from Spotify, don't forget to rate the podcast 5 stars, guys, and like and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.